Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again. My name is Sanford Kahn. I'm a business author and speaker. Some time ago, I did a video on YouTube on how to make money by selling call options on your stocks. I used Verizon, a real example. And I have over 75,000 views as of today, which is great. Thank you very much for looking at it. But I consider this the ultimate of making money off the stock market. Basically, how to monetize the S&P 500 stock index. That's why I have this cash here. How to make money off the S&P 500 stock index by selling call options. And the way to do it is very simple. I use this in my own trading account, and I make a living at it. So I think you should listen closely to this, because this may be something that may be suitable for you, both in your trading account or maybe in your IRA or KIA account, or even a pension account. What you could do, there's an exchange-traded fund called the S&P 500 Spiders. The symbol is SPY. It is the most heavily traded exchange-traded fund on the exchanges. Tremendous volume, tremendous liquidity. That's why I use it. What you could do, and what I do, is that you could buy 100 shares of the Spider. These are actual prices when I made the chart. These are not made-up prices. These are actual prices, but does not include commissions. If you're going to do this, or even consider it, use a discount broker. Do not use a full-service broker. They charge too much in commissions. What you could do is buy 100 shares of the Spider. It's going for, when I did this chart, it closed at that particular day at $205.85. 100 shares would be $20,585. Obviously, that's a lot of money for 100 shares. So if you have an account that's like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, this wouldn't be suitable because you can't do it. But if you have an account, like a lot of people do, if they've been in the stock market for a number of years, you can have an account 50,000 or more. You may wish to try this, maybe buy 100 shares and try it. Don't forget, when you own the Spider, you're not owning a stock. You're owning the S&P 500 stock index, which is 500 stocks. I'll give you the 5 biggest stocks in the index. It's Apple, Microsoft, ExxonMobil, Johnson & Johnson, General Electric, and one more for good times, Wells Fargo. Those are the 5 biggest, but there's 500 stocks in it. It's like a mutual fund, except that it's 500 stocks representing the S&P 500. All it is basically the S&P 500 stock index divided by 10. That's all it is. That's all it is. Minus a little management fee of less than 1/10 of 1%, which is close to zero that you could get. So you buy 100 shares. And then you go ahead and sell a call option. We give somebody the right to buy these 100 shares from you between now. I did a 30-day call option between now and 30 days out for $208 a share, or $20,800. You could go different prices. I just picked that call price right there. You could pick anyone. If you go to the chart, you could do whatever you want. There's different prices, call prices, but I picked that one. So you sell that, and at the time I did the chart, you would get $265 in your pocket. Understand, that $265 is what you get for a 30-day call option selling it to somebody. That's your money to keep, no matter what. That's your money to keep. You could go to dinner with it. You could take a vacation with it. You could go to the Polo Lounge in Beverly Hills with it. You could go to the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach with it. Nice place, really nice place. I know, I've been there. It's yours to keep. So let's go to the rate of return. The rate of return would be $265. We use a banker's year of 360 days divided by 30. All rates of return are annualized. Denominator by 20,585. That's 15.4% rate of return, annualized rate of return. The S&P 500 Spider has a dividend yield of 1.9%, so you add this to this, and you get 17.3% annualized rate of return. There is no such thing as a riskless investment. Nothing. There's nothing that's riskless in life. Life is risk, so is investing. So let's look at what could happen. It either could go in one or 3 directions in the 30 days. It could go up, it could go sideways, it could go down. If it goes up and goes past $208 or $208 and above, it will be called away from you, because that you're giving somebody the right to call it away. In that case, your rate of return will actually be greater, because you're going from 205.85 to, let's say, 206 to 208, so you get a little extra return. If it goes sideways or a narrow channel, well, this thing will expire worthless, because why would somebody want to buy this from you at $206, let's say, round it off, when they $208 when they could buy it for less in the market. So you go ahead and sell another one and put more money in your pocket. Now, if it goes down, really down, well, the $265 will give you an offset on the downward movement of the stock. But if it plummets, guess what? You'll have a negative rate of return. You could sell another call option after 30 days. You may not get as much money, you probably won't, but your rate of return will be negative. So there are risks in this. But this is for people who have a commitment to the stock market, want to stay in, and want to boost their income by monetizing the S&P 500 index. I suggest you consider this. I've used it. I've been using it for a number of years now. My two biggest holdings in my trading account are Apple stock and this, about equal. And this is how I make my living. It works. I don't have to depend on stock market advice. This is 500 stocks. You can make money, monetize the index. I wrote a book called The 13 Great Economic Business Myths that's available on Amazon.com. In chapter 11, I explain this. I actually do an example of this. The chapter 11 is called Personal Investing is a Tricky and Complicated Affair. No, it isn't. I actually go through an example, but I use the Dow Jones Diamond because that's what I first got into when I was doing this. The Dow Jones Diamond symbol is DIA. All that is the Dow Jones Industrial Average divided by 100. It works the same way as this. Some of you may wish to stay with the Dow Jones Diamond because it's the 30 stocks, the 30 biggest companies in the United States. Instead of 500 companies, you're dealing with only 30. But I go through a complete example, how it's done, rate of return, easy. You may wish to get the book. Matter of fact, I suggest you do get the book and read that chapter. But you know something? You know what's the most important thing in the chapter, ladies and gentlemen? Not just this example, which was how to monetize, in this case in the book, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or you could use the S&P 500. One of them is the symbol is DIA, the other is SPY. But on page 31, next to the bottom paragraph, when you're dealing with people in the financial field, beware. Everybody thinks, or a lot of people think they have your best interest in mind. The only person that has your best interest in mind is you. You are the only person. They don't have it. I don't care how many rules and regulations they pass, they'll never have your best interest in mind. They have their commissions and their fees in mind. They're out to make money for the firm. I have a saying in there, what I want you to do is get the book. It's available on Amazon.com for $9.95, but you could save a lot of money and a lot of grief in your life if you could just remember this one phrase that I underlined in red. When you're dealing with people in the financial field, please remember this. Underline this passage on page 31, next to the last paragraph. When you're dealing with people in the financial field, always remember, they are used car salesmen in fancy suits. That's what they are. That's what they'll always be. That's it. Used car salesmen in fancy suits. Do your own investing. This is a strategy that may or may not be suitable for you, but you should know about it. There's also another chapter you need to be aware of, and it has to do with the myth that you have to have a positive mental attitude all the time to succeed. That's chapter 10. Chapter 10 in life, attitude is everything. That's nonsense. Since when is the weather always sunny and cheerful? It isn't. Nothing stays the same. There's something much more important to guarantee success and advancement than just having a positive mental attitude. You won't always have a positive mental attitude. It's asking too much for mortals to always have a positive mental attitude. So read chapter 10, and also there's one other chapter you should be aware of, and that's chapter 12, what we're in now. And it's entitled, How to Prosper in the Coming Age of Poverty and Privilege. When I wrote the book, it was coming age. You're now in it. The choice for you is, do you wish to be a business lord or business serf? That's your decision. I decided to be a business lord. That's why I do this. I don't have to work for an employer. I took a corporate buyout from my last job, which was working for a major utility in Southern California in 1995, April of 1995. I never went back to work full-time again. I had some part-time jobs, but I started to get into this. It produced enough income, I didn't need to even have part-time jobs. I now enjoy life. This is how I make my income. I suggest you look at it too. Anyways, get the book. It's available on Amazon.com. There should be a little close-up view of the book coming up shortly. And read chapters 11, 10, and the one on the positive mental attitude, or the New Feudal Society. I think that's chapter 10, and the positive mental attitude is chapter 11. Anyways, get the book and read it. For $9.95, believe me, you're not going to go wrong. To conclude, if you, and I am a business author and speaker. I speak on business and economic trends, where we are, where we're going, and how the economy is going to impact business planning and profitability. In other words, how it's going to impact your life, both on a personal and business corporate perspective. If you have need of a speaker at an upcoming meeting or event, I'd like to offer my services. My contact information will be coming up at the end of this presentation. There's one other thing. If this interests your members, as far as information goes, this could be included in the presentation. And for those who really want to play it safe and buy U.S. Treasuries, Treasury obligations, there's another exchange-traded fund. I won't get into it now. It's too much for one video. How you could boost the returns by selling call options on U.S. Treasuries. I could go through that. I don't sell investments, nor do I manage money. I just give information. And what you do with the information, well, that's up to you. That's all I could do is just give you the information. Only you know what's suitable for you. Anyways, until we meet again, may you grow and prosper. Thank you very much. Bye now.